Hello everyone and welcome to the Dodge Viper SRT GT3 car profile. Then this engine, or the engine the car has got, is a V10 engine with 8.4 litres. It's a big engine. FR layout, 6 gears with this car. Obviously, it's based on a real-life GT3 car, so it does exist, this one, out in the real world. Now, I found actually driving this car, it was very picky with its RPM in terms of where you gear change. I'll talk about that more in the laps that we'll show you. Lots of speed in this car, very good brakes, and there's a bit of power oversteer there in second and a bit in third gear as well. A very interesting car. I actually love Dodge Viper. It reminds me of Gran Turismo 1, of course, and the nostalgia is there as well. I think it's a really good-looking car. It really is. It's got the long nose, big wing. It's standard for a race car, isn't it? Right, we're doing this cut-up profile then. So what we normally do is we jump to 3 different circuits, test out the low, medium, and high-speed bop, which is currently the same at the moment, as you know, as we head down towards turn 1, then in towards the braking zone we go, and we do get it stopped there into first gear, up to second then. Now, we do 10 laps on each of these tracks. There is a low, medium, and high-speed bop, but unfortunately, it's all the same bop at the moment, and that is what we're currently testing as we go through that right-hander then and continue towards sector 1. Where we're up, actually, we're up on the Audi. That's a surprise. That is a surprise then. The Dodge Viper, obviously, FR car. I'm not expecting it to be good at handling, but it's up on the Audi R8. We'll see what happens then in this middle sector as we go through that left-hander and continue on up the hill then. And what we're looking here is that the kink I found actually a bit iffy in this car, okay? Because it understeers a bit, or it feels very understeery at least anyway, because of the weight being all over that front end. I just found it very hard to do the kink properly. And yeah, it's just a problem I have. This is why we do these unique tracks, just to experience what the car can handle. Quick down here, I did experience a bit of power oversteer. Not on this lap though. As you see there, we nailed it beautifully as we go into the left hand. Again, you can see I'm constantly trying to slow the car down there and try and get on the power early as I can. As I go into this right-hander then, through we go. I actually didn't see the sector time there as we carry on towards the last corner. You would have seen it down in that bottom right-hand side as we go into the left and I continue on out. Pretty sure it's very close at this moment in time as we head towards the line then. We're looking for a 121.795. What is the Viper going to do versus the Audi R8 there? And oh, it's up! It's up! We're going to do fastest lap here at Laguna Seca. Oh my word! Well, there's a turn up further books then, the Dodge Viper. So we look at fastest laps there, but obviously we look at optimums overall, which is the fastest car in terms of optimum times, because it's better, it's much easier to get the best optimum, and actually the Audi R8 is still on top there. But the Dodge Viper did get the fastest lap there, and actually that was equal to its optimum there, so that was literally one of the best laps I've done in the Viper, because all 3 sectors are actually the optimum as well as the fastest lap, which is unusual. It is unusual to do that, and that's why we normally just take the sectors, but on the odd occasion, you will get a belter of a lap. In this situation, we did. So we'll go to Suzuka for the mid-speed bop. Now, coming into turn 1, this car loved turn 1. You can see that I'm using all of the circuit. Has no real problems there going through turn 1 at all in this car. With the weight being over that front end, it just turns. It really does just turn. And the back end actually comes out a little bit and actually lets you do that really nice 4-wheel drift that GT3 cars can do. Going through the Yetis then, you do feel the bit of the understeer there as we go through here. I'm staying in third gear for this one, trying to keep it tight, ready for the left-hander. What it's looking like at the moment, 2.5 temps down on the Audi R8, which is to be expected. We know the Audi R8 is a handling car, and I expect that to be doing better in that Sector 1 versus the Dodge Viper. So going into Tidgney 1 then, had no real issues with Tidgney 1. I have found some cars have a bit of an issue with that bump, not so much in this case. Actually going through here, we're just high enough in the RPM there where third gear wasn't an issue, as we are 3 temps down still there. It's about evens then with the Audi R8 as we go into the hairpin. Now, usually acceleration out of here is a problem. We stay in second gear for this one. It wasn't too bad in this car, to be honest. It just settled down very nicely as you exit that corner. So I had no real issues with power oversteer. Going to continue towards Spoon then. Spoon obviously will show some more of this understeer, always does. Spoon very good for showing understeer in a car, or whether it can turn nice and easy or not. As we head towards that outside, looking to slow the car down. Do we get it? Yeah, see, look, you can see that I'm literally breaking that a little bit more to get round the corner. Continuing out of Spoon then, we're going to accelerate towards the sector time then. And again, with the RPM on this car, I did say it's a bit picky. It's not a 3/4, it's just past 3/4. It's like 7/8 essentially. Oh, hello, we're 2.5 temps gained back on the Audi R8. It's going to be close at the line then as we go through 130R. Again, you have to slow down a bit more than other cars for 130R just because of that understeer that we do experience in this car. Leaving that corner then, we're going to accelerate towards the line then. No real issues on exit there, which is a bit unusual. As I say, second and third gear, it definitely does have power oversteer issues. And we finished there, oh, just under a 10th there at the end on the Audi R8. Very close indeed. So this car looking very good in terms of handling versus handling. But it's not a handling car, so I think the power really does make up for it at the moment. And we'll see that in Bathurst, whether it's good there or not. And actually, it's equal on optimum times. Look at that, it's bang on equal. 59.314 there. So a joint P1 essentially there. But the Audi gets it because it was alphabetically just higher up. But yeah, very, very much an interesting one. I think the BOP is done at Suzuka. I'm going to put that out there now. Those lap times are very close in terms of optimums. I'm pretty sure the BOP is done at Suzuka, but I don't know that for sure. It used to be done at Interlagos. We head to Bathurst then for the high-speed BOP. So this is obviously going to see whether it is the power that I was talking about early on. First turn there, turn 1. Literally second, third gear. Just power oversteer constantly in this car. We're going to head towards the first sector. We're racing the Corvette. This time the Corvette has the fastest lap here at Bathurst in the car profiles we've done so far. As we go through there, we are up. We are 37 thousandths up there as we head into this right-hander. Now this right-hander, this car struggled with this so much. It was like third gear generated too much oversteer and fourth gear was too low in the revs. Very hard corner to get right in the Dodge Viper, it really was. However, this part here was actually really nice in the car. Now, I do short shift to third here because second gear, it was all over the place. It was just spin its wheels and just go flying. You do have to be careful of second gear in this car. You really do. So obviously we experienced a bit of understeer up here, so I had to lift off a little bit there. Up into fifth gear now as we go down here and through this left-hander. Lifting a little bit there to avoid hitting the barrier there on the right-hand side. Through here we go. Not quite as quick as the Corvette from memory through here, but it's still very fast as we head down then. And as we go into 8 thousandths off, so it's still actually equal with the Corvette as we go in to the left then, going through here. Now, the Viper's a bit sketchy. You just see a little bit of the wheel spin there in third gear. I did talk about that. Bit sketchy down in that dipper section there. You do have to be careful in second and third gear. Going through here then, we stay in second gear. Short shift to third very quickly then as we continue on out. We're going to head towards the next sector time then. This is where we're going to see the pace of the Viper, whether it's got good top speed or not. Again, versus the other cars we've done. The Corvette, obviously, was very quick here, if you remember back to that car profile, which you can check out in the description. So we are now 4 temps down, and it's because of that dipper, I would say. The Corvette absolutely nailed that on that fastest lap that it did. And I'm unsure whether that's actually ever going to get beaten as we go through the left-hander here and then the right. Now, the Viper has very good brakes, okay? Very good brakes. I could brake really late into that corner as we go towards the final corner. Again, I used the tree on the right-hand side, but I could brake just after that tree leaves the screen. When other cars, I'm actually braking before it. This Viper, so good on the brakes. So it'd be very good for diving somebody down the inside. We head towards the line then. What is it going to look like there? We gained a bit of time at the end there in terms of lap time, down to 1.5 temps down on that Corvette. So not too bad of a lap, to be honest with you there, with a 202.544. But what does it look like in terms of optimum times? That's what you want to know. And in terms of optimum times, just 2 temps off that Corvette. But you can see the power cars going towards that forefront then, and they're really up there. And the only non-power car we have done is the Audi R8, and you can see how far off it is. And obviously that struggled with the dipper as well. But that's not all the tests we do here in terms of the car profiles. You know that. I know that. Let's get straight into the fuel test then. Now, I have changed the fuel test, okay? The fuel test is now done at 2,000 meters rather than 2,500. I found that I was just staying flat out in one gear for too long at 2,500 meters, so I've reduced it that little bit. Top left, we've got the maximum RPM. Top right, we've got the quarter shift, and down at the bottom, we've got quarter shift plus fuel map. Fuel map is the last resort in terms of fuel saving. I say this every single time, okay? Because if you're using fuel map, it is the worst way. The main way to save fuel in Gran Turismo is literally short shifting. It's all based on revolutions of that engine. So we stop at 2,000 meters there. We've got a 24,994, 51% fuel, well, 51% left, sorry, in fuel used on that left-hand side. I think that's 9.4. I can't see it. It's a bit small in terms of my screen there. You'll be able to see it better. Obviously, we'll put all this together in a second. Goes to 25,133 there for the quarter shift. So that shows you you can't short shift this car too much. It is very much based on the power. I said it was very picky. You can see that there with this test as well. It's a really good test for that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to advance a bit further on then in terms of the quarter shift plus fuel map, which gets there in that time down below. I think that's a 26 that I can just see there. But we'll put it into a nice little table format for you. Fuel map, again, avoid using that. And we're using 2,000 meters because, as I said, literally, it's 2,500 I felt actually was a bit too far when I was looking at it. So we jump to the results then, and this is what we're going to do next then. Let's have a look at what's happening here. So this is just overall performance. You see the Viper in P2 there, so you know it's got a good amount of power. It's competing there with the Ford GT. It actually saves a lot more fuel than the Ford GT on fuel map 1, so actually it's quite good at top-notch pace, and the Ford starts to save a bit more a bit later on. And as we go down here, fuel map 3, you can see it there. Again, it's very close with that Ford GT. You know, in terms of fuel saving, they're all very close there, but it just shows you the power there. Dodge Viper can save fuel, you can see that. We go to the performance then. So this is performance lost versus fuel map 1 in terms of the maximum RPM shifting. And you can see there, obviously this Corvette we know was better at a quarter shift, but Dodge Viper only loses 1.5 tenths. So you can see their quarter shift actually, performance-wise, doesn't lose that much to the Dodge Viper. That's the point of this chart, okay? You're seeing what loses the most performance. We go to the fuel levels then, and this is the most fuel saved at doing what? You see the Ford GT still at the top there. Dodge Viper, fuel map 3, doesn't actually save as much as fuel map 1 in terms of maximum RPM, and that's what that table tells you there. And as we go to the fuel map 1, you can see there where they are performance-wise and fuel level-wise there as well. That should be ordered slightly differently with a Viper below the Alfa Romeo. So apologies for that slight issue there with that table. But even so, you get the idea there. The Dodge Viper was actually second best on fuel in terms of actually going at it full out. We go to a tyre wear test now. Again, you know my issues with this tyre test because it's an oval. Obviously, the MR cars are going to use their tyres a bit more than the FR cars. I'm still trying to figure out a test for the FR cars. And I think I've got an idea in terms of looking at maybe both tyres. I do record this footage. I record more footage than you actually see. And that's why I can get the 2,000 meter times for all the other cars as well. It's all saved. I can go back and have a look at it. And when I actually do this test, I actually go until the second tyre loses its tyre wear as well. So it might be an indicator of what we do in the future just to see what the tyre wear is like. Maybe 2 tyres lost or maybe 3 tyres lost. We continue on then, and we just stop it here. And in fact, there's a bit of a white dot there, and I know I stopped it after this dot, so apologies for that. It does actually go on for a bit further in terms of time, so apologies for that. I will sort that out in the future videos and make sure the time is accurate for you. But even so, that's how we do the tyre test. When is the first tyre going to 0% in terms of tyre wear, and where does it fit in all of this? The Dodge Viper comes home in P3 there. P3 in terms of tyre wear, so it's no good versus that Chevrolet. The Chevrolet far better at tyre wear than that Dodge Viper. Something interesting to note there, that is for sure, because we're looking at FR versus MR. In terms of overall times, though, we have a new leader. The Dodge Viper is top. Now, I would say the Dodge Viper is an excellent car, an absolutely fantastic car. It's definitely up there in terms of cars, I felt. You see the Chevrolet Corvette, I think, is a bit too fast there. I think it comes down a couple of times, just that literally it was amazing at Bathurst. But yeah, the Dodge Viper, a very good car, and one I would highly actually recommend you try and use. It's definitely up there in terms of cars. Once you get used to the understeer and the gear shifting, which, as I say, is about 7/8 on that bar. If you have enjoyed this video, do subscribe and do give it a like, folks. I really do appreciate the support, as always. These do take me a little while to make, but I do enjoy making them, and they give you the information you need. There's another car profile there if you want to check it out, and the Beat the Meta for the Viper. What we did is there as well if you want to check that out. But a big, big thank you, as always. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.